In June 1967, a group of 10 young cavers set out to explore Mossdale Caverns in Yorkshire, England. They were young, full of energy, and ready for adventure. But within hours, they would be remembered as the group of cavers who never made it out. Mossdale Caverns stretched for miles under the Yorkshire moors. The entrance looked small and harmless, just a narrow gap in the hillside. But inside was a maze of stone, passages wet and muddy, often no wider than a kitchen countertop. Many of them forced cavers to crawl flat on their stomachs, inch by inch. The air was damp and cold, and every sound echoed through the tunnels. The flicker of headlamps bounced across walls that seemed endless, twisting left and right with no clear path. The deeper you went, the more it felt like the cave was swallowing you whole. The greatest danger, though, was not the stone. It was the water. On these moors, storms roll in fast. A clear sky can turn dark in minutes. Streams vanish into the limestone, and all that water heads underground, straight toward places like Mossdale. When it rains hard, the caverns can fill quickly, with almost no warning. Everyone who knew Mossdale understood that if a storm came, the cave could become a trap. On June 24th, the 10 friends went underground. At first, it felt exciting. They crawled through tight squeezes, joked with each other, and kept their headlamps pointed forward. Their laughter bounced off the stone walls. For them, this was a test of courage, teamwork, and skill. But above the hills, the weather was changing. Clouds grew darker. Rain began to fall. Deep inside the caverns, the group had no idea. Water began to seep in, slow and quiet at first. Then it grew into a steady stream, like someone had turned on a tap. Minutes later, it was rushing, and before long, the tunnels filled with the sound of a river. Headlamps reflected off brown water. The floor turned slick, and every crawl became slower and harder. Shouts of fear echoed through the stone as the water rose. Some tried to calm each other, but the fear in their voices made it worse. The adventure was over. Can you imagine being in a tunnel barely bigger than your body and hearing water crash toward you like a freight train in the dark? The flood cut the group off from the entrance. Panic set in. Some tried to push forward, hoping to find another way out. Others turned back, desperate to climb higher. But the water was faster than anyone. The group split apart in the chaos. 4 of them fought with everything they had. Helmets scraped rock. Hands went numb from the cold. They crawled. They swam. They dragged themselves through passages, filling like bathtubs in reverse. Every second mattered. The roar of water was everywhere. The cold bit into their skin. Mud clung to their clothes. The air tasted of earth and panic. Somehow, against all odds, they made it to the surface. They collapsed in daylight, shaking, soaked, screaming for help. But 6 of their friends were still trapped inside. Rescue teams arrived quickly. Local cavers, firefighters, and volunteers worked nonstop. They carried ropes, pumps, and lights into the hillside. Maps were little more than rough sketches. The paths were tight and twisting. The pumps could not keep up with the flow. Every minute mattered, but Mossdale was already flooded. The water blocked every way forward. Passages too small, current too strong. Rescuers tried for hours, then through the night, but the cave would not let them pass. Exhaustion hit hard, yet no one wanted to leave. Every rescuer knew that time was against them, but still they pressed on. What would you do, trapped in the dark with water rising around you, shoulder to shoulder with your friends, knowing each breath could be your last? For more than a day, the rescuers tried to reach the 6. They battled freezing water, thick mud, and exhaustion. Communication was slow. Batteries faded. Hope thinned with every hour. But Mossdale was merciless. No voices came from the depths. No movement. Nothing. When the rain finally stopped and the water sank, rescuers went deeper inside. What they found confirmed their fears. The 6 had died together, caught in the flooding tunnels. Their last moments spent in total darkness, surrounded by rushing water and stone. 6 young lives, gone in a single night. The entrance was sealed with concrete. The victims remain there to this day, beneath the moors of Yorkshire. They went in as friends. They never came out.